All right, this is the Algebra 2, Unit 4, Lesson 2 video, Solving by Factoring. And I would say that the title probably should be Solving by Using More Graphing, because that's what we're going to be doing to solve these problems. So I'm just going to kind of tell you, like, basically, we can always use the graph of a function to solve for that function. So if I have, the following equation, let's say y equals x squared minus 8x plus, let's say, 7. Yeah, there we go. This could be an example of a problem you might see. We're always going to be jumping over here to look at these values where we have the two x-intercepts. So anytime we're asked to solve, this is what we're looking at. So just keep that in mind. So let's just let me just run through the problems that they ask you down here. First thing is, this is some vocabulary. Make sure you look over the lesson and find the vocabulary here. Whenever it says factor the quadratic and find the x-intercept points, you just need to graph and find the 2 points just like I showed you here. Check the 2 boxes that correspond with the x-intercepts of that equation right there, based on what it shows on the graph. Just finding the x-intercepts. Now, in the next problem, it says, using this equation and the x-intercepts, answer the following. What is the distance between the x-intercepts? If I was asked that on this problem, I would say there is a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a distance of 6 between the x-intercepts here. And so that would be what I would answer for the first part. That's all you have to do. Count the distance between the two x-intercepts. And then it asks for the x and y coordinates of the vertex. I'm just going to go down here and say, well, my vertex is 4, -9. The x value is 4. The -9 is the y value. And so I would choose the answer choices that correspond with the coordinates of my vertex. So you can see the graph is what we're going to rely on. We have the x-intercepts, and then we have the vertex. And the vertex is just that point down at the bottom or the peak, depending on which way it opens. And then they'll ask you to complete the table. This, you just need to take the 3 and plug it in for the x in this equation, or come over to your graph and find where the graph hits at 3. So like in this case, it would be something like, nope, there it is, 3, -8. So you can either use the graph, or you can plug a 3 into the x values and get the correct response for the y value. Same thing with -1. Either plug in -1 for x, solve and get y, or look at the graph. Again, no need to do anything except find the x-intercepts. Graph that on your graph and find the places where it crosses the x-axis. More of the same on number 6. I already talked about how that one works. Same thing in number 7, and that's it. The rest of these are review questions, but I'll just go over them real briefly. Find the slope and y-intercept. You can graph this as well and find the slope and y-intercept just by looking at the graph, or you can convert this into slope-intercept form. You should know how to do that from previous units. Finally, 2 more, find the coordinates of the vertex. We just talked about that. Find the graph of this function and then identify the vertex of the parabola. Transpose matrix. I'll put a link in the video description for how to do transpose matrix. But if you remember, in a transpose matrix, the rows become columns and the columns become rows. So automatically you know that you're not going to be choosing either one of these or that one as the correct response. It has to be one of the other 3 because it has to be oriented the other way. So all of the rows become columns in the new matrix. So row 1 from this would become column 1 in the new matrix. But I'll put a link in the video description to the video where we covered that back in the previous unit.